Oh, Keith Myers here again. We're going to cover lesson 5 at this point. I just wanted to show some of the basic Wing Chun defenses on this boxing structure. If you're a Wing Chun guy and you're following along, you already know these, but I just want to show that they can be done in a boxing structure format. Just covering these basic Wing Chun defenses. The first one is Pak Sao, right out of Silam Tao form. Pak Sao, Pak Sao. We're doing it from a kind of a boxing structure. I'm just practicing my Pak Sao straight out, and I've got this rotation going. So I don't want to stop on center. I'm stopping on the shoulder lines that we talked about on the structure video. So I'm crossing center. So if Henry was punching at me, he's throwing a punch, my Pak Sao is here, so I've left this opening. If he throws another one, my Pak Sao is here, so I've left this opening. Because once we do just the basic Pak Sao, practice Pak Sao, we do Pak Da, and it's going to be bang, 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 bang. So that's Pak Sao. Notice how I can turn and get just a little more oomph behind my Pak Sao if I want to, just by pivoting on this rear foot, like a boxer would throwing punches. Pak Sao. The next one is Tan Sao. Remember in the Silam Tao form? Tan Sao comes up, sweeps across center, and it ends on the shoulder line. So if I'm in my boxing structure, it's the same thing. I can practice my Tan Sao sweeping up. And again, get just that little bit of a pivot off my rear heel, and I can Tan Sao. And again, later on, you put it with a punch, it's a Tan Da, right? So I can pivot this way, pivot that way. Bang, 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 bang. Tan Sao. Next one is Gan Sao. Again, out of Silam Tao form. Gan Sao. And again, Gan sweeps across center, ends on the shoulder line in the form. Gan Sao. So if I'm doing it from my boxing structure, I'm coming down on that same line. I'm coming down on this side, and I've still got that little bit of a pivot from my Gan Sao. So I'm here, I'm crossing center, I'm making an opening to punch through. So now if I do a Gan Sao with a punch, it just comes out like this. Right? Pow, pow. So if he's throwing a low punch towards my ribs, that typical boxer's kind of looping punch, and I'm here, then I can Gan Da, right? If he throws it on that side, Gan Da. If he throws it high, which is next, it's Bu Da, right? So the next one, Bu Sao, that you normally see like this. In our Wing Chun, or in our boxing structure, we're here. Now I'm going to Bu. And again, the Bu is on the shoulder line. Bu on this side. Bu. Bu Sao. Up. Up. And the Bu Da, I close, open that line, and I hit. I hit. Hit. So again, if Henry's throwing those wide punches, I'm blocking out here. I'm not reaching way out. I'm just covering that line to cover that punch. I'm not going to be here where you can sweep past. I'm going to catch it in front of the elbow here, so I can punch with it. Bang. And if the other side came, bang, 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 pop, 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 pop. Right? Bu. And then there's the Gum Sao. In the form, Gum Sao is this way. Second section, right? So when we line it up, see it's lined up with my leg in the form. I turn, it's right there on the center. So if I'm here in this structure, here's my Gum Sao. We're here, right? And this one, to do it with the rear hand, I really need to be able to pivot because this hand's not going to reach otherwise. So I just use that pivot from the boxing and I can cover that line. Pop, pop. Right? This line or this one. So bang, bang. Right? Now Gum Sao. So this would be against a rising knee strike, or let's just say he's throwing kind of a uppercutish kind of punch, and I'm here, something that's kind of coming up the center. I got my Gum Sao either from this side, here, or the other side. Right? He started to throw a kick. There's my Gum Sao to stop it as I move around. Right? Gum Sao. Here, 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 here. Okay, the next one, Bong Sao. In the form, Bong Sao looks like that, right? Or the other side. Bong Sao. Put it in this context just to practice the basic technique. I'm Bong Saoing and I'm crossing my center. And I'm pivoting, and make sure this one's cross center. Bong. So again, we're faced off. Henry throws a punch with this hand, got my bong sao. And usually I'm not going to stand in place, I'm going to move to the outside, right? Bong sao. He throws that hand, and I got to pivot with my bong sao to reach it, right? So he throws this one, bong, bong. Bong sao. Another one that we'll use a lot from the Chun Kyu form is from bong to lop sao or lan sao. This is from the traditional Wing Chun form, where we here, turn, 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 right? This kind of structure, bong, and then I got this pivot. So I'm practicing my lop sao, bong, lop, or I could consider this a lan sao. Just that crossing back and forth. Wouldn't commonly do it on this side in the rear, but we could, we had to. So, bong, lop, bong, lop, bong, lop. Okay, so let's say he's thrown this hand and I bong sao, this is a bad position, so I immediately switch it. That's the idea here. Boom, boom, and I got to switch it immediately so I'm not in this bad situation. And again, this is part of the blind side strategy, right? I'm coming to this side so I can hit. Or if I did it on this side, boom, we're going to see this in one of the lessons coming up. I'm coming with this motion, right? I'm catching that hand, but it's that same motion that we're going to do in our lop da drill. It comes right out of this motion. And again, traditional Wing Chun. Okay. I should also mention, since I left it out of the biomechanics video, 3 important warm-up drills you should be doing on top of what you've normally been doing to help develop this engine that goes behind all of these motions I've been doing. The first one is standing and just swinging side to side. Let's really develop that torque. The important point here is my weight is completely on this leg and I'm balanced, right? Completely on this leg. I'm not swinging out like this. I'm not on this tippy toe, extending. This leg is bent over this leg, and I swing to the other side. And then I relax everything from the waist up and just let it torque through my spine and my shoulder, so it really loosens up the back, and it's really developing that pivoting ability while staying balanced. And the challenge is my arms are swinging freely, so that's challenging my balance. It's wanting to swing me off. So I'm also learning to stay centered over this leg. So this is a very important drill, warm-up drill for what we do. The next one is again just staying right on this leg and pivoting on this toe. And I want to turn my hip as far as I can to get maximum range of motion. So I'm throwing my heel out in one direction, throwing my heel out in the other direction to get my hip to turn as much as possible, to loosen up my hip and to really get used to that dynamic of being able to turn and move that side. So again, another important warm-up drill, turning the hip. And I switch and I do this side. Weight's fully on this one, balance, and I'm pivoting. And the third one is to kind of use that biomechanics in an exaggerated form to get used to the turn. So now it's like I'm reaching all the way out as far as I can to touch somebody that I can barely touch, right? And I switch it. So it's kind of a combination of the last two, because instead of swinging side to side, I'm swinging forward. And see, I'm centered over this leg. This is the pivot point, and I'm throwing this as far back and forth as I can. I'm exaggerating the motion. I'm not going to punch that way, right? When I punch, it's going to be like this. But if I'm nice and balanced with this exaggerated full motion, then this becomes easy. And that's the point. All right? That's it for this lesson.